Okay.
All right, thank you, everybody. All right, thank you. Okay. So you see, we're set up a little differently tonight. So again, we're having our question and answer session tonight, but we also have a lot of stuff on our agenda tonight. I also have the Historical Society here tonight to do a quick overview of what they're going to be doing for the 250th. I told Tom he's got to keep it under 10 minutes. He'll give you an update on that. We are going to have to amend the agenda because I do have to have an executive session tonight. And so I need a motion by the board to amend the agenda to add executive session before adjournment on Article 78 proceedings. And I need to update the board on attorney conversations. I need a motion for conversations.
I don't think but I will make I'll make the motion for us to amend the agenda to add an executive session to discuss the Article 78 proceedings.
I'll second.
All in favor? Aye. So moved. Thank you. All right, having said that, Stephanie, you want to start us off?
The meeting tonight is for the conduct of the town business by the town board. The public is invited to participate at the items marked on the agenda, public comment during that segment of the meeting. If you have a question or comment for the supervisor, please raise your hand and wait to be acknowledged. Please state your full name and limit your remarks to 3 minutes. Thank you for your anticipated cooperation.
Thank you, everybody. Please rise for the pledge. Thank you, everybody. Please rise for the pledge. Please remain standing for a moment of silence for all the men and women who sacrificed their lives to allow us to serve our country and our town. Thank you. Okay. So I need a motion to approve the agenda as amended.
I'm making a motion to approve the agenda as amended.
I'll second that. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, so moved. Motion to approve the minutes from the April 27th, 2026 Town Board meeting.
I make a motion to approve the minutes from April 27th, 2026 Town Board meeting.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, so moved. Motion to approve the minutes from the April 27th, 2026 public hearing. I need a motion.
I make a motion to approve the minutes from April 27th, 2026 public hearing.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, so moved. Authorized payment of bills of $123,151.87. I need a motion to pay the bills.
I'll make the motion to pay the bills.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, so moved. All in favor? Okay, so we need to reschedule the May 25th meeting as it's Memorial Day. I polled the board and we decided to have it on May 27th, which is Wednesday, 7 p.m. But we're going to have it at the community center as court is in here on the Wednesday. So we will put out on our social media, we'll publish it, and it'll be May 27th. 7 p.m. at the Marlborough Community Center. So I just wanted to make sure everybody in the public knows that. You got that for the paper? That'd be great. Anybody on the board have any discussion or comments on our reports from our department heads? Anybody? Nope. Nope. All right. So we're going to go on to our presentation, Historical Society. I think Arnold's here too, and Tom. You guys want to just come up front here? Any of the mics? Oh, sit down, Tom. You can sit. Go ahead, Tom. Just press the button, Tommy. Everybody knows Tom Schroeder? Our historian.
Just wanted to give the board an update of what's going on with Marlborough 250, the observance of the 250th year of our country. And we've already had one outing, which was the Blossom Festival, May 3rd. and I was pretty much promoting the parade, which is coming up on Sunday, May 24th. That's the, at 12:30, the Memorial Day Parade going through Milton with the theme being Celebrate America 250 Years. Of course, at the end, we're going to have hot dogs, and maybe I'll be George Washington. I don't know. And that's followed up May 29th and 30th. That's a Friday and a Saturday at Prospect Farms. There's going to be it's called the America 250 Agriculture and Arts Culture Jubilee. So the art group is going to be there, Marco, and the Historical Society, I've asked Dan Haven, and he's also going to get in touch with Don Smurden, and we're going to be talking about the history of farming in the town of Marlborough. And then we got the concerts coming up in July, and I guess we're going to sing the Star Spangled Banner at the beginning of each concert, and I'm going to have sessions under the pavilion talking about history while the concerts are going on. And then September 19th and 20th, the Milton Landing and Railroad Station celebration, and we're going to have a table there and talk about history also at that time. And I've been working with the Marlborough Central School.
I don't want to interrupt you a second, Tom, but Rosemary's maybe going to change the date. Rosemary's maybe going to change the date.
Oh, okay. I stand corrected.
I just want to make sure for the record.
I stand corrected.
I just want to make sure.
Things always change. I have been working with Marlborough Central Schools. My contact is Emily Sloper Whalen. She's the librarian at the high school, and she is also the coordinator with the National Honor Society. And the school is going to be doing projects where they're going to be writing what they think is going to happen in the future. Also, they're going to be interviewing their parents and relatives to learn more about their history. So we're getting the schools involved. There was a 1976 picture book that was produced, and what I suggested to the schools was that maybe we can get the high school students involved with scanning this in and then using a QR code where you can then access this old document, but also be able to add maybe pictures from today's or this year's celebration. So we make it online so that people can look at it on their phone, or if we got a Marlborough resident out in Illinois, and they can actually access that online. So the high school is working on that, but I want the students involved with it. And Katie Down has a grant to interview Marlborough residents. I've worked with her, and I've gotten her in touch with the school so we don't step on each other's toes. And one thing I haven't gotten a good grasp on is the churches. I got Kirk Borchert that's going to help me pull that together. And one last thing, Doc Pascal came up with this idea of maybe having a contest of how tall the flagpole is in the center of village of Marlborough, and maybe try to guess it to the nearest eighth of an inch, but you can't go over the number, and maybe we can get the local businesses to offer
He came in my office today to tell me.
Like that, but that might be, that's something that we're looking at.
That's
Other than that, I try to encapsulate and bring you the board up to date in a short amount of time here that I have available, and entertain any questions.
Mickey got a question behind you. Mickey got a question behind you.
Was the Legion responsible for that or the school?
That was the American Legion. They're calling that the Field of Honor.
Anybody else got a question for our town historian or 250th? Because I know Tom and Arnold and the rec Recreation Committee, I know Arlette's and Dave have been doing a lot of work with the Legion Hall and Ed and everybody down there and trying to pull together some events for our community. Rosemary's been working for the Landing Committee to get some things done down there, and Laura's been working. Tonight we're going to tell you guys that we got a grant through Laura, so we're going to thank her. There's a lot of things going on. Again, 250 years of celebration of our country, and we appreciate what you guys are doing, Tom. And, the Memorial Day Parade is really going to kick it off for everybody this year, so I'm sure it's going to be a great event. It ends in the park this year, so it's a nice spot to talk to everybody, have some refreshments, and discuss. Now we have 12 new hometown hero banners going up this year. So, we don't have 30 or 40 like we've been having, but we got 12 more this year that are coming in, and so it's a great tribute to our community that those flags are up and show our appreciation to all those men and women who served to make our country what it is. Like we had a discussion today, Tom, in today's world, there's a lot of division, but when the country was started, we were the United States of America, and I want to get back to the United States of America, not the divided states of America. There shouldn't be blue states and red states, the United States. So, but I appreciate it, Tom.
I'll just wrap it up by saying that the 250-year celebration will end on December 31st, so don't think that we're just going to stop in September. Because the students will be back in school from the summer break, and I anticipate many things going on in the fall.
And I love you getting the kids involved. I know Mike from the school is very active, and he loves this stuff. And getting apps and stuff on your phone, that's the 21st century. I don't even think they would even think this was happening when they started America 250 years ago. So it's awesome that you're doing that, because that's how you get the younger generation involved. It's gotta be on their phone. If it's not on their phone, they ain't doing it. So that's awesome. So I like that idea. You had a question, Joe? Yeah, you could talk about it. Go ahead.
Friday, through Saturday, the painting, plein air paintings, the meaning outdoor painting, the community can participate, live music, so it'll be a good weekend. I know the vendors, so local wine, cider, and food. We hope that will be food.
It's a 2-day event, so everybody should come out. If everybody doesn't know what Marlborough is out there, it's the Marlborough Arts Community Coalition. And they started, I think Jerry Wine had started up with Vanessa or Veronica back in the day. But it's a small little group, but a strong group. And, these are local artists. And I can tell you, I've been in touch with Veronica and the group, and you're going to start seeing art all over the walls in this courtroom. And it'll be art that will be changed monthly, so we could show off the artists of our community. You could take their information, you could purchase the art if you like it, you could have them make you an art project if you like. So we're going to try to promote that through our town hall, which you can see our walls are kind of bare here. So it'll be a nice addition, because this room's used almost every night. So it'll give them a little perk. So you'll see that coming soon. So yes, thank you, Joe. You'll see that coming soon. So all right, Tom. Well, I appreciate it. Thank you so much. All right, Tom. Well, I appreciate it. Thank you. All right, I got a bunch of correspondence tonight, believe it or not. Let's go. The first one. This is from, my name is Dawn Brady. I'm Program Manager for the Ulster County Dutchess Living Resources Without Walls program for people with development and intellectual disabilities. We have several participants that live within the town lines of Marlborough and Milton. I was interested in using the pavilion and building at the Clochance Park for the Marlborough, in Milton for the barbecue on Friday, May 29th, 2026. I know you normally charge for the fee, but we are a non-for-profit organization and our funds are very limited, so I was wondering if there was a way we could waive the fees. We would be able to supply you a certificate of insurance with the town listed as additional insurer. And thank you for your consideration. This is Dawn Brady, and I sent this to you guys today. I'm not sure if you were on copy to this, so I'm not sure if this is even available. It is available? Okay, so, this is for the Day Community Opportunities Program, Duchess CCDP Manager from Dawn Brady. So, are you guys okay with it? I just need a motion to waive the fees for the organization, which is non-for-profit, as long as they get us their insurance certificate.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Make that
Aye.
Aye. All right, thank you. Hey, Steph, are you guys gonna respond? Okay, thank you. All right, so I want to thank Mickey Simonoski about this. Okay, so I've been working with Mickey, and everybody knows the farmers have been hit with the frost. We had nice weather, then we had cold weather, and a bunch of our farmers lost a lot of their product. So what we're trying to do, I sent out letters Friday to go to all the farmers in the town, and we're going to have a sit-down discussion at the community center to see if there's anything we can do, our legislator can do, and ultimately our state legislator can do, because it ultimately is going to come down to Albany doing something here. I know Jen Metzger at the county executive is pushing for this also, so I think the legislator, I don't want to speak for Laura, but I think the legislator is all on board for this, but I think it needs local support too. So what we're going to do is we're going to have a little sit-down Thursday, May 21st, 7 to 8 p.m. at the Marlborough Community Center. We're invited as many farmers or whoever would like to come and have a discussion and give us feedback on what you would like us to put in a letter to the state and to the legislator, and give a little backing to it when it comes from the community. But we do feel your pain, and I guess the biggest thing is that Doc Pascal had an idea today when he came in. We were just talking about it. He said that we should do a scavenger hunt around the town, and that in order to participate in the scavenger hunt, you got to go to the farms and the wineries, right? And you have to buy things there, and ultimately you'll win this token at the end. But it's something that they've done in other communities. I think it's a pretty good idea. I'm going to ask our rec committee if they're interested in doing something about this. But I think it's a good idea. I thought it was a great idea from Doc Pascal today to do that, and we'll look into doing that also. But if anybody wants to come, May 21st, we're going to be having that. So thank you, Mickey, for taking care of that. And he did also talk about the pole contest. So they went out there and they measured the pole, and they know exactly how much the pole is, and he wants to have a contest. So that's not a bad idea either. So we'll look into that. So thank you. We'll look into that. Yeah, absolutely. So that's something we could bring up when we talk on the 21st, right? So that's a good idea. All right, this one is from our favorite Rosemary Wine. Dear Supervisor Corcoran, members of the town board, the Friends of the Milton Land and Park is planning an all-day event for Saturday, September 26th, with the rain date Sunday, September 27th. The Apollonian will be at the pier providing tours of the ship and able to take 3 groups of people, 13 to 14 each trip, for a sail on the river. We will work with the Historical Society to develop informational displays and the train station that focus with the history and the fruit exchange and freight by sail that will tie in with the current work of the Apollonian from 4 to 7. We will have live music, food, and Milton Land and Park shirts and caps for purchase. All money collected go back into supporting projects to the park after expenses are paid. With the support of Supervisor Corcoran and Legislator Laura Donovan and Dominic Marino, we applied for a grant from Ulster County Rev 250 Sponsorship Fund. We are happy to report that we received $2,500 to help support this project. So, Laura, thank you very, very much. Good job. And Rosemary, thank you for doing the application for us as usual, and to Dominic as supporting us as also up at the legislature. The Sarah Hull Free Library was sponsoring live music with funds from the grant from the New York State Council of Arts. We have already booked the pier and the train station through Tina. We're asking that the board waive the fees for the use of the pier and the train station. This event will be free to open to the public, and thank you, Rosemary Wine. So I need a motion to waive the fees to use the park on September 26th with a rain date of September 27th.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second it.
I'll make that motion. Aye.
Thank you, Rosemary.
Aye.
Working on it. I know. All right, that's good. It'll happen. All right, it'll happen. All right, this one is from our planning board, and we haven't done this in, I don't know, maybe 30 years. So, the supervisor, Corcoran, and town board, in light of the upcoming retirement of Pat Hines from MHE Engineering, the planning board formally requests that the town board initiate a request for proposal for RFP process. The purpose is the request to identify and select a new engineering firm to represent the planning board moving forward. We believe starting this process now will ensure a smooth transition and continued professional oversight to our upcoming projects. Respectfully, Stephen Jennison, Chairman of the Planning Board. So, Planning Board, I think Steve's here tonight, so you guys actually talked about this, unanimously said that they wanted to do this. So, I told them to write a letter, and we will put it out for a bid and see what we get. Again, MHE Engineering has represented the town. They still will represent the town from our end on things we're doing, but I think they represented the town at least 30 years, as far as I know, on the planning board. But Pat is retiring, so if there was a time to look for someone different, this is the time. So we will do that, Steve, right? Unless anybody on the board, any discussion on this? Do you have any questions about that?
Nope.
Okay. Then we'll get it set up. Thanks, Steve. Okay. Did you read this one last time? The one from this? No, I don't think so. No, I didn't think so. Okay. And this is a good one. So this is from Kathy Sylvester. This she does every year. Supervisor Corcoran, as a resident of the town of Marlborough, I'd like to ask that the line dancing program at the Cluett Chance Park be held this summer. I spoke with Mr. Alexander, and he's interested in running the program up again. It would be held every Monday evening from 7 to 9, from June 8th to 26th through August 31st, 2026. I am asking the town board to please waive the fees for the use of the pavilion. I would like to thank Supervisor Corcoran and the board for considering this request. Sincerely, Kathy Sylvester. You guys have a problem with any of this?
I think we did that at the last meeting, but
I thought you did, that's why, but I wanted to make sure, so,
I didn't see the line dancing
but I
part
wanted
of
to
it.
make
I
sure.
don't remember.
So you guys are, okay, so
Yeah,
then we're
that's
good.
approved.
I'll call her then, so I just wanted to make sure. Okay. Tom, you should do this, right, Tom? Tom, you should do this, right, Tom? All right. This one is Supervisor Corcoran Marlborough Town Board. This is from the Marlborough Republican Committee is requesting the use of the Marlborough Community Center to conduct a Republican caucus on June 16, 2026, between hours of 6 p.m. and 8 p.m. In addition, we are requesting the consideration of waiving the fees for the use of the community center for the caucus. Thank you in advance for your consideration. Respectfully, Manny Cauchi, Chairman of the Republican Committee. So we've done this for both parties. I don't think it's an issue, but you guys got any discussion about it? So I need a motion to waive the fees for the caucus for June 16, 2026, from 6 to 8 p.m. at the community center. Anybody?
I'll make a motion to waive the fees for that caucus.
Second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. So moved. Thank you.
Aye.
So moved. Manny, you got your answer.
Thank you.
Ah, God, Chief. Oh, so this is to Chief Koza, but it's given to the board also. I'm requesting the leave of absence starting May 1st, 2026, for the duration of 6 months, with the understanding that this leave will be reviewed on a monthly basis during that time. I remain dedicated to my duties and responsibilities within the department and intend to return to full service upon conclusion of the leave pending review. Please let me know of any additional information or documentation is required to process the request. Thank you for your time and consideration. Respectfully, Caden M. Cabrera. So congratulations to Caden, because he got a full-time job in Highland. So can't begrudge him for that. He's part-time here, and I believe they have in their contract, they're not allowed to work part-time for 6 months. So after the 6 months, then he will probably be able to come back and work for us part-time. So he's really good, so, we'll see what happens. But thanks, Jerry.
What happened to our basketball letter?
Oh, yeah, it's right here. Where is it? Did I not bring it? Where is that letter? Oh, here it is. See, I had it upside down. I think. Yep. All right. Okay, this is to Supervisor Corker, and I hope this email finds you well. We would like to run the Twins Athletic Summer Basketball League for our community like we did last summer at Cluett Shantz Park, utilizing the outdoor basketball courts. We have attached a letter, an application for facility use form. We would like to use the court from 6:30:26 to 7:29:26 on Tuesdays for girls 5 to 7, 7 to 8:15 boys. Wednesdays for boys 5 to 8:15 p.m. and Mondays as a rain makeup night if needed. We could send you our insurance policy. Thank you for your time, and need any further information, let us know. That's from Joe DeMamo and the Twins Athletics. They did this last year. It went out really well. They got us all their insurance. I don't believe we had any issues. This is their logo. But they did a good job. It's something new. And last year we did it, and I think we should do it again. Unless anybody has any discussions or...
No, it was great last year. They had a strong participation. They only did one night a week last year, so this is actually an expansion of what they did. But they had great participation from children of all ages. We put up a sign at the basketball courts to let the public know what times and dates they were closed to the public, and didn't have any logistical issues with that.
Okay.
So I'm in favor.
Make a motion.
I will make a motion to waive the fee for the Twins Athletic Basketball Program to run at the Cluett Shantz Park on the basketball courts.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, so moved. Thank you. All right. Yeah, I didn't even go down. All right. Now, we're going to do our resolutions. I'm trying to get through this so we can get to you guys. I know this is long, but... Can you do this? All right. So Resolution 41 is to authorize the supervisor to retain Vanderwater to represent and defend the town and its officials in the Article 78 proceeding. Supervisor Cork proposed the following, whereas the town of Marlborough and certain town officials have been named and have responded in Article 78 proceedings commenced in Ulster County Supreme Court, the state of New York, under Index EF 2026-1397, challenging determinations pursuant to Town Code sections and compelling compliance with various FOIL requests made pursuant to Public Official Law Article 8 for property located at 20 Mount Rose Road, Town of Marlborough, New York, designated the Town of Marlborough Tax Map, Section 109.1, Block 4, Lot 57, the premises. And whereas the nature of the claim asserted the above Article 78 proceedings require the retention of counsel in defending the Town of Marlborough and certain town officials. And whereas the Town Board of the Town of Marlborough finds that it's the best interest of the town and officials to authorize and retain the legal services of Vanderwater LLP to represent, defend, and protect the town's interest and the town officials' interest in the Article 78 proceedings. Now therefore be resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Marlborough authorize the supervisor to retain the law firm of Vanderwater LLP, 85 Civic Center Plaza, Suite 101, Poughkeepsie, New York, 12601, to represent and defend the town and its officials in the above entitled Article 78 proceeding and any related proceedings, appeals, and applications arising therefore, and be further. Resolved that the above captioned proceedings law firm of Vanderwater and Vanderwater LLP shall compensate at a rate of $350 an hour for partners and attorneys and $185 an hour for paralegals plus disbursements. The foregoing resolution was duly put to a vote. A regular meeting of the town board, which was resulted in follows. Stephanie? Yes.
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 Thank you.
Yes.
Resolution 42. So we've been going back and forth with this resolution. We had another public hearing last meeting, so we took those comments into consideration, and we felt further. I talked to our attorneys about this, and I felt that some of the wording still needed to be defined a little better based on the comments in the last public hearing. So yes, we do listen to what the public hearing comments are, and we do take them into consideration. This is the third revision of this. That tells you that we do actually listen to what you're saying. So this is just reintroducing it again, which means we will have another public hearing, so which will be the third public hearing. That will be on the 27th at the community center when we have that meeting, and you could also make more comments. But this is, and I'm going to try to not read every single thing in here, because just to try to make up time, but I'm going to try to go through it quick. Resolution 42, to reintroduce the local law of the year 2026, amending section 41-4, procedure and records request, section 41-5, request for records, inspection and reproduction, section 41-8, fees, and section 67-13, record keeping of the code of the town of Marlborough. Supervisor Court proposes the following, and seconded by, who wants a second? This time. Who did it last?
I'll second.
Gail's going to second?
Sure.
Councilman Appler seconded, introduced the following proposed local law to be known as local law, and that gets numbered as we pass it, of 2026, a local law of the town of Marlborough, Ulster County, New York, amending section 41-4, procedure, record request, section 41-5, request for records inspection and reproduction, section 41-8, fees, and section 67-13, record keeping of the town code of the town of Marlborough. Be enacted the town board of the town of Marlborough that the code of the town of Marlborough, the code is amended as follows. In section 1, section 41-4, hours of inspection of the code is amended as read as follows. Deletions are stricken and additions are underscored. And I'm going to read what it's changed to. Procedure for record requests, written requests for public access records, either for inspection or for reproduction, therefore shall be accepted at the town clerk's office during regular business hours by mail or by electronic mail directed to the official email address in the town clerk's office, consistent with Public Office Law 89-3B. Section 2, Section 41-5, request of access to the code is amended as follows. Deletions are stricken, additions are underscored. Request for records, inspection, and record reproduction. All records for public access to records shall be submitted to the clerk in writing pursuant to Section 41-4. Section B, immediate production of request records is not required, and the clerk is afforded 5 business days from the date of receipt of the written request to respond pursuant to Public Office Law 89-3. Within 5 business days of the receipt of written requests for a record reasonably described, the clerk shall make such record available to the person requesting it, denying such request in writing or furnish a written acknowledgement of the receipt of such request as a statement of the approximate date, which shall be reasonable under the circumstances of the request, when such request will be granted or denied. If the clerk determines that the grant of request for the whole or in part and its circumstances prevent disclosure within 20 business days from the date of the written acknowledgement of receipt, the clerk shall state in writing both the reason and the inability to grant the request within 20 business days and the date certain within the reasonable period depending on the circumstances when the request will be granted in whole or part. Number 1, the reason Reasonableness of the time of granting or denying requests is based upon volume of requests, the ease or difficulty of locating, retrieving, and generating records, the complexity of the request, the need to review records to determine the extent of which they must be disclosed, the number of requests received by the town, and similar factors that bear on the town ability to grant access to records promptly and within reasonable time. C. Written requests shall be reasonably describe the records sought and whether the requester seeks to inspect public records at the clerk's office or to receive reproduction thereof. Whenever possible, the persons requesting records should identify relevant dates, files, distinctions, subject matter, or other information that may help to describe the records sought. 1. The request for inspection is the requester seek to inspect public records without reproduction or removal from the clerk's office. The requester must make an appointment to inspect the records responsive to the request of the clerk's office during normal business hours. 2. Requests for reproduction. Reproduction of documents shall identify whether paper or electronic copies are preferred. Once the records are prepared, the town shall transmit the records to the requester preferred format to the extent practicable via email or paper copy. D. Failure by the clerk to grant or deny access to records within 20 business days after the date of acknowledgement or by such other reasonable date or specified acknowledgement issued pursuant of Section 41(5)(b). Such failure is deemed to construct denial which may be appealed pursuant to Section 41-7. Section 3, Section 41(8). Fees of the code is amended as follows. Okay. A. The fees charged for reproducing public records shall be calculated in accordance with the limits contained in Public Office Law, Section 87(1)(b)(3) and 87(1)(c). B. If a fee is owed for copying or reproducing the records requested, the clerk will provide written acknowledgement of the fee. Estimate and fee shall be paid in advance of preparation of such copy. No fee shall be collected for mere inspection of records. Require no redaction upon appointment during normal business hours in the clerk's office. Whereas responsive records require redaction pursuant to the exemption contained in Public Office Law 87(2), prior to disclosure, the clerk shall provide a redacted copy and applicable copy fee. Section 41(8)(a) shall apply. Section 4, 67-13. Record keeping of the code is amended as follows. A. The Code Enforcement Officer shall keep permanent official records of all transactions and activities conducted by all code enforcement personnel, including records of 1. All applications received, reviewed, and approved or denied. 2. All plan specification and construction documents approved. 3. All building permit certifications of occupancy, certificates of compliance, temporary certificates, stop work orders, and operating permits issued. 4. All inspections and tests performed. 5. All statements of reports issued. 6. All complaints received. 7. All investigating conducted. 8. All other features and activities specified in the contemplated by Section 67-4 through 67-12, inclusive of the article. And 9. All fees charged and collected. I'm getting there. B. All such records shall be public records open for public inspection during normal business hours upon written request and in accordance with the procedures contained in Chapter 41. Public access to records. All plans and records pertaining to building or structure or apprentice thereof shall retain or at least the minimum time period so required by state law and regulations. Section 5, if any of these sections of the law shall be held unconstitutional, invalid, ineffective, the whole or part such determination shall not be deemed in effect, impair, invalid, or remainder of the law. Section 6, the local law shall be effected upon filing the Secretary of State. The following resolution was offered by Supervisor Corcoran and seconded by Councilman Appler, who moved for its adoption. Okay, and then the rest is like, it goes through the same exact stuff. So we're going to have, whereas the town board has second duly noted public hearing on the received proposed law as a regular meeting on April 27, 2026, in which will interested parties for the against or amendment will be heard. So again, we're going to have a public hearing.
Yeah, that's
That was the
the
original
old
we
date,
had at
yeah.
April 27th, but we're going to have another one on May 27th. So this just goes back to what the original resolution was. And take notice that the Town Board of the Town of Marlborough will hold a public hearing, Town of Marlborough Community Center, 1520 Route 9W, Marlborough, New York, on May 27, 2026, at 7 p.m. prevailing time on the local law of the year 2026, amending Section 41-4, procedures for record requests, Section 41-5, requests for records inspection and reproduction, Section 41-8, fees, and Section 67-13, record keeping in the code of the Town of Marlborough. Take a further notice that the copies of offset proposal local law will be available for examination at the office of the clerk of the Town of Marlborough, 21 Milton Turnpike, Milton, New York, 12547, between the hours of 8 and 4 p.m. on all business days between the date of notice and the date of the public hearing. Take further notice that all citizens and parties of interest shall have an opportunity to be heard in said proposed time and place for said. And the foregone resolution was put to a vote, which resulted in the following.
Supervisor Corcoran.
Yes.
Councilman Affleck.
Yes, but I gotta say that this law has gotten so overly complicated and wordy. I get the reason for it, but it's, I think every time we rewrite it, it gets longer and longer and longer. Like, it just seems overcomplicated, so,
It is.
just wanted to say that.
Councilman Caffey.
Yes.
Councilman Zambito.
Yes.
Councilwoman Sessa.
Yes.
Okay, so
Yes.
that's our resolutions. Now to the main event. All right. So I talked to the board about doing this, and first they thought I was crazy because I don't think anybody's ever done this. But I thought about doing this because when we've been having these public hearings and you have comment sections, I feel that public comments are public comments. It's not a back and forth communication per se, like a question and answer session. I felt that a lot of people had things to say and they wanted questions to it. So I asked them to let's have this meeting, and I wanted to have this as a formal sit-down meeting. I didn't want us sitting up there talking down to you. I wanted to talk to you. I wanted to have a conversation. So what I'm going to ask is, I want to keep this cordial. I don't want this to become a shouting match. We're going to answer as many questions as we possibly can. If we don't have the answer, I will get you the answer, and we'll follow back up at the next meeting with that answer. I definitely don't want this to become political, so please don't come up with any political questions, because I can tell you, we're not going to be answering political questions. It's not a political session, okay? And if it's a legal question, if it's pertaining to legal, and we're in the middle of a litigation, we will not be answering those questions either. Having said that, come on up. Anybody want to come on up and sit, they could come up and sit and ask questions, and I will try to do my best, and the board will do our best to answer your questions. So come on, don't be shy. Everybody came. Come on, Rosemary, come on up. And I also want to tell everybody, just for the record, because of all the FOIL requests we have been receiving, and since we had a planning board meeting prior to that, I asked the stenographer to stay, and she's going to take stenographer notes, and she's only just for this question and answer. She didn't do it for the whole board meeting. She's just doing it for this. So when you come up, state your name and your last name, so the stenographer has that for you.
I don't know if this is a question or I'm asking what the town could do about this. There is that sign right on Route 9W on the way down to Milton Turnpike that is in absolute disrepair. It looks terrible.
The one on the corner?
Right, the sign, things are falling
Yeah, the one on Pollock's property.
The long sign, it's on Pollock's.
Yeah, the one on Pollock's property.
In years past,
Yep.
businesses that have signs, we pay the fee.
Yep.
Somebody know for that to be maintained. And really, I think it looks horrible, and can the town do anything about it?
Yeah.
And
Well,
it's really detracting. When you drive by, it gives a very bad impression.
I mean, I actually stopped there. It's funny you said that, because I stopped there the other day and I got out of my truck, but I didn't have my drill on me and the screws. I was going to screw some of those signs back in. But, no, technically, can we go on that property and do anything? No, it's not our property, right? But, can I have a conversation with the person who owns the property? Absolutely. I feel the same way. But, because there's even businesses on that sign that aren't even down there anymore, right? So that's another issue. So, yes, I will have that conversation and see what we can do.
I think it looks like all the plywood has to be redone, so I don't think I think it's
Yeah, it's more than just
screwing.
screws.
Yeah.
When I touched it, it was a little soft.
If you can, I'll take the plywood and signs down, if you can get, I don't want to just go on his property and do that.
No, we got to get permission. I mean, we
Yeah.
do got to get permission, you know, in today's world, everybody's ready to sue. God forbid someone falls, gets hurt, you know, we don't want to, but it looks bad. Yeah, but it looks bad. I will definitely look at that. Come on. Come on up. How are you? Just state your name for the...
Yep, turn the mic.
There we go.
Yep.
As you know, we were approved this evening with our site plan. My question is, from my understanding, the planning board sent a letter to the town board requesting information on future applicants in the ag site plan process. I don't know if you've addressed this yet, or if you could provide a timeline for when it might be addressed and what it might be called, and if this will become public with a fee structure and
You're talking about the streamlined process for farming?
for site plan approval.
Site plan approval? Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. So, yeah, we have our attorneys working on the wording right now. There's a guidance for that in Ag and Market that we have. The only thing that the town board is not going to waive is the public hearing. You know, there'll be, you know, like you had some reduced fees in your application, believe it or not. You know, might think, I know there are a lot, but you did have, so we're looking at that. But we're going to keep the public hearing, and the reason we're keeping the public hearing is because I think the public, you know, who happen to live around farms still should have some kind of voice into these proceedings. Anyway, we're not trying to hold anything up,
Absolutely, and for the record,
but I think it's
agree with
definitely
you.
there. But it is being worked on right now. I have them working on it. I was hoping to have it now, but our attorneys have been extremely busy with a lot of other things, and not to say that this isn't important, but it's definitely being worked on.
at
And we
some point it
appreciate
will
you
be
guys
on
going
an
through the
agenda?
process. So,
Thanks. At some point, it'll be on like a future town
Yeah.
board agenda? Okay.
oh yeah, I would assume, probably not the 27th, but I'm assuming the meeting after that. Probably not the 27th.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you. Come on, anybody else? Come on, anybody else? Come on, Mickey, come on up. Come on, Mickey, come on up. Mickey knows I like to talk, so, you know, I don't have a problem. Mickey knows I like to talk.
Good evening, Mickey Simonovsky, Marlborough, New York. Good evening. First of all, thank you very much for explaining our roundtable forum for the farm community, and I really want to encourage our citizens to come. I hope that we can get some farm representatives there. I think that there may be things that we can do as a town to help support the agricultural community. We won't know what they want and need until we actually hear from them. So any farmer can contact me. They don't have to come, but I'm just trying to gather some information. I have a short survey that I would be asking farmers individually or anybody who is connected to the ag community. I actually realized that our beekeepers, there's a number of beekeepers here in our town. How is this going to affect them if there are no blossoms? I mean, if there's no fruit, and there's nothing to pollinate, that means there's no honey. That means, I mean,
It's all tied together.
it's all tied together, and I think that once we have a real comprehensive picture, it will be easier to support things like Senator Henchy's bill and probably get even more things available. And I apologize for screaming out that suggestion about the fundraiser, but yeah, maybe we can do something in a bulk manner to help the
Yeah.
farming community. And it would also bring together our citizens. I don't think a lot of people understand what farmers do and why we have some of these laws. And if we have this forum and people can ask those questions there as well, I think that we'll have a better appreciation for that. So thank you very much for that. And then just to follow up on Rosemary's question, I did notice that there's been some cleanup at the corner of Main Street and Milton Turnpike. At least it looks like something got cleaned up at that corner. But with the parade being only a few weeks away, is there anything that the community can do to clean it up? Can we buy some banners, or can he put up some
Are we
banners?
talking about the Main Street Milton, right?
Main Street Milton, yeah.
Main Street Milton.
I mean, red, white, and blue bunting.
Again, it's a private property.
Yeah.
I've talked to this person till I'm blue in the face. They did pick up the fence at least. I mean, it still looks like, I don't want to say the words, but it looks horrible. You got a piece of the black tarp still on there.
Yeah, can you ask him to take the rest of the black tarp off?
So
It's disgusting.
Yeah, we could take that off. I mean, I can't get him to take the fence totally down because from what he says, it's insurance purposes. That's why the fence is up. There's nothing that we can do to say take it down. But yeah, I mean, for the parade going through here and just every day, people living here, right? We got to do something there. I don't know what we can do as a community, but all I could do is keep asking them. I mean, I could keep asking them. I mean, the individual, I guess, is going through some changes right now with the business that he's doing, and I don't know if that's what's hindering what's going on there, but I can't speak for him on that, right? But I could keep totally asking him. But yeah, as a community, I think if we can do something together, and he's willing to allow us to put something on the fence, I don't have, the problem with putting something on the fence, you got to put something where it doesn't blow down again, right? You got to have those where it has those air pockets in them, I guess they have, so the wind goes through it and it doesn't blow down. But we definitely got to do something there.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, if everybody doesn't know, we have, the cruise ships are starting up this year early. They're starting in June. So, those people come from all over the world, believe it or not, just not New York City. And the first thing they do when they come up into the town is they see that rock wall. And, that project was supposed to be done 2 years ago already. Again, we can't make a person build something. We could only make them go through the process. They didn't through the process. They got an extension on the process. I don't know what else physically we can do.
So that does give me a question. So was there any kind of bond put on that the town could then use bond money to help pay for things to cover that from the outside, which would be on town
I could check.
frontage property? I mean, it's just a matter of
It wouldn't really take that much.
Concealing stuff.
It wouldn't really take that much to really fix that little section.
Oriental Trading does buntings for like $5.99 each or something.
Maybe, hey, Chief, maybe this is a good art project for our artist. If everybody doesn't know, we had an artist who decided to go on our pickleball court and draw an entire picture all over the pickleball court.
No.
And so
It was chalk.
it was actually a beautiful drawing. And thank God it was chalk. But they put their hashtag on there. And I know a little about that, so I kind of looked up their hashtag and I gave it to the chief, and the chief made some calls, and we found the lady. She was a nice young lady, and she was very apologetic. She just thought, I just thought it was a public place, I could just do that. So I said, well, maybe if you did it like on the driveway, but not in the pickleball court. But anyway, it came off, we got it off. But she said she's willing to do some kind of artwork. Maybe this is something she's willing to do as a retribution for. We've been having a lot of vandals lately that want to. We got brand new picnic tables from the landing committee. 2 days, someone put something on top of it and put it on fire, and melted the whole plastic off the entire table. It's just, and they're like, I didn't know that was going to do that. Like, we just had the pier burned down. and you're starting more fires. I don't understand. Just to give you some kind of background of what's been going on lately. But they're going to pay for a brand new table, and if they didn't know, that table's like $1,000. So it wasn't cheap.
Right.
And Mickey, I want to add for the farmers, also farmers, they carry some insurance. And I know that the insurance don't pay much, but if we can help them through their insurance and cut through the red tape and more of assistance, government, and lean on them to help them with the insurance and get more maximum of that is another way we can help the farmers.
And there again, the more public comment we have when we present it to the legislators, that helps them to know. We had a meeting, 100 people came to our meeting, these were the comments, this is a summary of the comments, this is what we're looking for. That gives them more more push when they're talking to fellow legislators. In that regard, you can always text or email your legislators to tell them what you think.
And Senator Hinchy's really pushing at the state level on this. So I mean, if everybody doesn't know Michelle Hinchy, she's a real backer of farmers. She's a really good person. So I mean, if anybody's going to get it done, it's going to be her. But I think, if the more support she gets from municipalities, legislators, Ulster County, it's a little easier for her to get these things done. So, anything we can do to help, we're going to try to help. Even the scavenger hunt, I think that's a pretty cool idea.
Great idea.
I mean, anything. It's
great idea.
It takes 2 days, and it ruins 364 days of the rest of the year, right?
Thank you very much. Don't mean to be taken up all the time. Thank you.
Anybody else? Anybody? Come on up. Come and ask questions. Anybody? Come on up. Come and ask questions. Anybody? Come on up. Come and ask questions. How are you tonight?
Doing quite well. My name is Frank Beckett.
How are you tonight?
I live in 132 Reservoir Road. I have a couple things I want to ask you guys about. So when I moved to this town, maybe about 5-6 years ago, it was beautiful. It was getting more beautiful. I'm noticing along Latintown Road, up in the back, Reservoir Road, all of those areas back there, there's a lot of trash that seems to be on the roadway. Don't know where it comes from, beer cans, such and such. I would love it if we could figure out a cleanup effort to resolve that, as well as trying to figure out how to deter people from doing it further, because it definitely is making this.
I love that idea.
Now, when you say trash, construction trash or like
beer cans,
domestic trash and
crap, and
cars.
Well, not really cars, just domestic crap though.
Tractors. I mean, it is a farm in town, right? I mean, you got all kinds of stuff all over. I mean, Dave's talked to this a few times, Dave, right? I mean, about going up Mount Zion or different areas, right? And it is a problem. You want to speak a little on Dave?
It's not just going up Reservoir Road or Mount Zion Road. It's everywhere. I mean, in the fall, when the leaves are off the trees, you see a lot of crap along the way, driving around. It's not just garbage. It's unregistered vehicles. It's Quonset huts. It's trash in people's backyards. Maybe it's not trash then, it looks like trash in the street. Yeah, I understand what you're saying. Is there a way to clean that up? It's almost like what we're talking about on Main Street in Milton. Everybody wants to lend a hand, but you can't go on private property.
Well,
you like to clean up your neighbor's crap, but you really can't unless the neighbor says it's okay.
That also alludes to my next question so if there was a small effort where a couple of the residents wanted to do something, would it be possible, because it is public road, if, we did some sort of activity?
They do that, like the Hamlin and Milton Association every year gets people together, and they do all the roads in the village. Charlie, you help with that, bringing them bags, and then picking everything up.
Yes.
It's almost like a neighborhood approach, and I think it would be good for Reservoir Road residents to get together and, because there's how many 100 miles of road in town or whatever. I mean, that's a lot of stuff for one group to cover.
And that doesn't take away.
Consolidate and compartmentalize in neighborhoods, take care of it.
And that doesn't take away from our Department of Public Works. They do an excellent job.
They just can't.
I'm very blessed with
walk along every road.
So you're asking, can we pass an ordinance of some kind that forces people to clean up their property?
Well, I think it would be good if like,
Yeah.
you wanted to get people together, and then you can contact the town, they provide bags.
Well, just so I'm
And
clear, it's
where
not so
where
much
you could drop them off, just leave them along the road so they know to go pick them up.
It's not the people's private property. It's the main roads,
The main
the
road.
thoroughfares, and everything else. Whatever people have on their private property, I have no...
Yeah, no, it's like the
Yeah.
ditches that have coffee cups and
Yes,
cigarette
that type
butts and
of,
everything.
those type of items,
Yeah.
because realistically, it all ends up going in town anyway, to whatever waterways we have. So as long as we can resolve that, that would be awesome. Also, I have filed a complaint with the building department, and I'd like to know, so we have a previous town supervisor, and I want to know what they're doing about his violations that he has. He's converted a single-wide trailer to a double-wide trailer when the town code specifically says you cannot expand on a pre-existing non-conforming. And it seems like there is nothing that is getting done to resolve that violation. So
It's being looked at. I mean, I've been made aware of it. This is a pre-existing non-conforming. I think the previous building inspector, Mr. Solanovich, gave this permit. We're not like ignoring it. We have our attorney looking at it just because we've never had this happen before. Is there... Because code says if a building permit was given in error, it doesn't mean it can't be withdrawn. Would we do that? I don't know. I mean, it's new to us. So again, I don't want to talk about legal actions, but I can tell you that it is being looked at. It's definitely being looked at.
And the other thing, yes, this initiative with the Albany and the farmers, that is awesome. I'm a beekeeper myself, and I absolutely would love whatever we can do to promote these farms to do better. And
what do you do with the bees? I love this, the beekeeping.
so I ended up meeting some local residents, and we got along very well. So they actually brought the boxes. They helped me to do all the stuff. We go in, we spray for mites, we do whatever has to be done. I have maybe about 4 or 5 boxes at my house. There's a small collective of us that...
And this is for honey, right?
It's for honey, but it's also just for pollination in general. You know, I'm not a naturist or anything, but I do very much so promote the bees. And without these farms and without the flowering buds and everything else, it kind of doesn't help. I luckily have a pond and they drink the water there. There's plenty of flowering items for them to use.
See, when you see bees, you get happy. When I see bees, I run.
The honeybees are your friend. It's
those little things, they get me. I don't know. Okay. I mean, there's a lot of good things there. The one thing we're looking at, the bee, we're gonna have the farmers thing. And as far as cleaning the road, I mean,
do I need a permit to do that, or can we just?
I mean, the Democratic Committee does this. I think they just did it this past year. They do a long 9W corridor and stuff. I mean, if you get a group together and I think you got to really tell the chief that you're doing this so that they understand it's being done. If it's a county road, because understand we have county, state, town roads all mixed in our community. If it's a county road, we just got to make sure the county knows, so we'd have to make...
Yeah, like Latin Town is not our road.
And like Gail said, if we organize it and you let us know, and you just leave the bags on the side, then we could have, maybe the highway department go pick them up, bring them up to our transfer station.
I don't even mind taking care of the bags, as long as it gets cleaned up. The place needs to look beautiful.
But yeah, we could definitely do that. I mean, I feel like when it's on personal property, it's tough because I let everybody in on a little secret. We're in a question and answer. So when you have a code violation, or so even if we've had an ordinance, right, and we give you a violation, right, the town really doesn't have any real cease and desist powers to make you comply, let's say, okay? What we have to do is we have to go to the Supreme Court in order for the compliance to happen. It's kind of a crazy system. I mean, I learned this, unfortunately, over the last couple of years. I didn't realize that we can't sometimes enforce our own laws that we want to enforce. So that's the hard part about this, because if someone doesn't clean, and we give them a violation and they don't clean up their property, we could give them another violation. They could come to our local court. Our local court will probably give them X amount of days, right, to come into compliance. They may or may not, and then we give them another violation. They could come back to the court, and they could give them another month to clean it up. They could say, well, we're going to charge you $100, which is really nothing. The only way to really get that to happen is you'd have to file a lawsuit, go to court, state Supreme Court, and that costs thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars, tax dollars, that you can't recoup from the person, which is, right? So they're breaking the law. They're not complying with our law. We have to take them to court and spend your tax dollars, but they don't have to pay back your fines. But that's the law of New York. We will abide by it, and that's what we do. But having said that, that's the problem with personal property, which is hard. Because there's violations written, and usually violations are typically written as someone complains. Someone complains, there's a violation written.
And the last but not least, so there aren't a lot of hydrants in the Ag District and a lot of other places. Basically, once you pass Latin Town Road, they may be sparsely spread out here and there. I was wondering, speaking of the Albany business, if we could do something so we can procure some funds so we can do dry hydrants. Whoever has a pond that is willing to have it installed, then, it would be an option, and the town would have funds set aside or whatever so that it can be.
So hydrants are built off our water system, right? So the water supply system isn't throughout the entire town.
Yes.
It's mostly in the hamlets on either end.
He's not talking about that. He's not talking about that. He's talking about
dry
at the
hydrants.
town park. We have that access. We put it right there.
Yeah, they're
yeah.
static sources in ponds.
In the pond, you mean?
Yes.
Okay, yeah.
So whoever has a property that has a pond,
I see what you're saying, yeah.
they can, agree to have it installed, and not only will save everybody money on their homeowners insurance, but it will actually help with the process of putting out fires, because they do occur sparingly.
We've done it with the fire department.
He's a fireman, so I relate to him.
We approach a property owner. Generally, they allow us to do it. I think the fire districts have paid for it usually, because they're a tax-funded organization too. If the fire chiefs think there's a need for one somewhere, then I think they'd be very happy to install.
I mean, the fire department, I'm sure would love it. I mean, I don't know how many farmers are here, but a lot of the farmers use those ponds for their irrigation, right? So some of them have those already hooked up for themselves, right?
Like, I mean, the town reservoir really isn't accessible for, fire source. It's too far off the road. Marlborough's got one down at Moss's Pond down by Weeds. I believe there's a dry hydrant there.
Yes, right across from there.
Yeah.
And you can definitely put one in mine if you want to. It's
Are you close to the road?
I'm 132 Reservoir, yes.
Okay.
So that would be, they would be able to stretch enough line to go south.
Yes, generally just a legal agreement they'd have you sign, you could sign, and I could talk to you after the meeting.
That would be awesome.
Yeah.
It would be like an easement agreement that you'd have with the property.
Just to allow them to do work there.
Okay. All right. Thank you guys for your time. Y'all have a blessed night.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you guys for your time. Y'all have a blessed night.
Thank you.
All right, we're breaking it up. Come on.
Hi, I'm Luke Smith, and I live on...
Luke, what's your last name for that?
Luke Smith.
There you go, that's an easy one.
Just to echo what Frank was talking about the trash on Reservoir Road, my wife and I seem to be well known in the area because we walk the road almost every day. We're known as the walkers in the area. And yeah, we do see a ton of beer cans and trash that are strewn across the road. A lot of this is actually on the reservoir property. I don't know that that's private property, that's more town property.
Charlie, we got Riley go up there and clear out? But does Riley go around, I'm sorry, this is our water superintendent, and he actually oversees a lot of what goes on in the reservoir. And we have an employee who goes and he cleans up different parts of our parks and areas, and that's why I'm referring it to him. Is Riley go up there, when, does he go around the reservoir and clean up, or no? Does he go around the reservoir and clean up? Just the cans?
So if there's litter, you don't pick it up, Charlie? If there's litter, you don't pick it up?
So you're saying at the reservoir itself, there's a lot of litter?
If you're walking along the reservoir past the entrance where people are able to park, and I would say I don't see who the people are who are doing this, but there seems to be like a little bit of neglect on people's parts sometimes.
It's like a known dumping area there.
And do we have, Charlie, we still have garbage cans right there, or no?
Yeah, there is.
So we got the garbage cans, but people still just don't want to put them in the garbage can.
It's like a barren stretch of road where people think they could just throw garbage bags. They've always done that.
Mainly the road, and it's people, as they're driving by, they're just flicking the cans out inside from their vehicle.
All right, what I could do is I got Charlie on notice here. I'll have Riley do a little better with the cleaning up there. I mean, he's our guy that does that. So if, for some reason, if he's just picking up the garbage cans but not picking up the garbage that's on the ground, I guess that's a problem, Charlie.
Yeah, but it's our property.
Well, if it's our property, we own a lot of property on the reservoir, so. And I know Dave could speak to this up on his property, right? He showed me some pictures last week of people dumping stuff right at the top of the hill.
I mean, we just had 2 couches and a dresser dumped down the top of we live on a dead-end road.
They just,
and they
top
just,
of the hill?
I caught somebody going up there Sunday again with a load of trash, just went up there and dumped it. I mean, it's all over, I mean, actually, you want to know how you can resolve this is, you got to tell your neighbors to keep an eye, and if they see somebody, then they report it. That's really all you can do. If you can report it or get a license plate number, or if you realize it's someone you recognize, you call that gentleman right there and he'll respond. But without that, there's really, other than you going out yourself while you're walking the street, pick up some cans or whatever, that's really all you can do.
Yeah, I mean, echoing on Dave, I mean, you could send me an email if you get a picture of it. Send it to me, or again, if you see someone doing it, that's even the best thing.
I haven't seen the actual.
We get it, but
you just see
a lot of times when we see people do it, by the time you call and they get up there, they're gone. We're having a problem up on the reservoir right now with the motorbikes again. That's an issue right now.
And they shouldn't be on that. I mean, there is.
We shouldn't even be on that
parking
property.
lot, no vehicles.
But as you know, it's accessible from a motorcycle or a four-wheeler pretty easily. Our problem is we don't have a four-wheeler or anything like that to go chase them. We do have a UTV that we just got a grant from, I won't announce it yet, from Senator Hinchy. So we are going to have a little opportunity to maybe chase some of these guys down. I mean, again, I don't want the police jumping over dunes and stuff like that. Then we'll have guys out hurt and we'll be paying them to be on disability. So no, but it is tough. I mean, I get it, because the reservoir is a beautiful area. It's not technically a park, but we allow people to go up there and walk because it's a beautiful area. But I'll have Charlie see if Riley could go up there and, I know he said he was, I was just going to say, I know he's going up there because they're going to be cutting the lawn. But I have Riley on a big project now. He's going to be power washing and restaining the entire pier. So that's a big project too. But what we're trying, we don't have a lot of manpower for these things, and that's because of the tax dollars that are associated with it. But you give me that information, I wrote it down, we'll try to figure it out. But if there's anything, you ever see anything and you got pictures, my email's right on the line. It's pretty easy, supervisor@marlborough.ny.us. I'll respond, and I'll get someone up there. Thank you. Thank you.
Just so that we're clear, we will not be chasing them, but we plan on making a huge presence of it. We hope this prospective UTV is going to be fully marked, fully lit. So we hope with presence we can deter them from arriving. In the last 60 days, more so in the last 30 days, we've gotten quite a few complaints. Now, patrol cars do go up there. Obviously, we cannot drive into the reservoir property. The gate is locked. We do have keys, patrol cars don't work well anymore, so we don't go around the reservoir property. We have spent some time on the roads trying to follow them, get back to their houses, having conversations with those parents, and unfortunately, they believe it's town property, so they can drive on it. Even though the signs clearly say they can't, but because they believe they think that's in town, it's town property, they have free use of it. We have better educated them, and it has reduced maybe by one. But anyway, as we get the call,
No, we stopped them. They were doing it down at the riverfront too. I mean, they kind of stopped. Town Park, they were doing it. We do catch them. We do have drones too. So like, you know, we have a pretty nice drone that could track these guys too. So
we should have in our possession, so we're looking forward to that, and we'll do some special details, specifically the reservoir, because that's a really hot spot. In the last few weekends, we've caught people from, they're talking Middletown, Westchester, parking at the mouth of the reservoir, and loading their bikes to go ride there. So it is out there, that this is a place to go, people travel far to do this. We're going to be changing those attitudes, hopefully, specifically on the weekends.
Sure.
This is summer for sure.
I had read, I had read a lot of comments on Facebook about exactly what was happening there, and I've heard and watched the motorcycles. They ride past my house as well. And even during this winter, I don't know if it was them or someone else who's riding a snowmobile, including on my property and other neighboring properties. So I'm glad to hear.
We know, I mean, we do get we are following up on it. I mean, like I said, that's why I want to have these meetings. I think people don't think that we do follow up on a lot of stuff. We are following up on a lot of the stuff. Sometimes we just can't catch them, right? You know, but you know, being up in the mountain or up in the hills, they think they can come here from wherever and no one's going to catch them, right? But there are people that actually live up there and want to enjoy their weekends and their evenings and not have to hear motorcycles roaring through the backyard, right?
And then certainly also should be respecting people's private properties, at least asking them, do you mind if I recreate on your property? If they say no, then that's...
And every time I know, I mean, the correspondence I've been having with a few people, it's you know, they call the police, they do the right thing, but by the time the police get up there, they're gone, and there's no way to track them because they're in the middle of the mountain or wherever they're at. But you know, like you said, with maybe just having the UTV there a couple times, knowing that we can go after you if we had to, you know, again, you know, it's deterrence. Deterrence.
And when they come back and it's not there, they usually false. And it's very, it's people who travel in, I've heard Platicville is a huge place where they come from. So they go through the reservoir over the mountain and they're gone. So we're hoping between the UTV and the drones that we have now, we can do a better job of tracking them to pay them a visit to their house. That's the idea.
And I could tell you, like our guys, they really love investigating this stuff. They are, I'm not going to I can't tell you all the stuff that's going on, but they are investigating stuff right now that maybe these guys don't know about, but there's investigations going on. They're trying to track down these individuals because there's other people that talk. Let's just put it that way. That's the best way of us getting information. Other people start talking. And, you know, the parents sometimes help out, and they get on their kids and say, you're going to talk, and then other parents don't want to cooperate at all. But it's definitely being investigated, I could tell you that. But I don't want to give away all the secrets of what they're doing. So, but they are doing it. But I appreciate it, and I wish we could help even further. But
the weird problem I have on my property is it's got the creek right between it, and the folks who had previously owned the property left their, and this is going back to the garbage situation, they left the couch, the tires. But back in the 70s and 80s, where did people dump stuff? They dumped it in their backyard, and they didn't have to take it off to the landfill. So I stare at this stuff every winter, and I'm like, do I go over there, pick it all up, and take it, I guess, to the landfill or whatnot? But so that's my unique situation.
It's like, you know, because everything's so expensive in the world, right? Even getting rid of trash is very expensive. So what easier way than just dump it on the side of the road, right? And let someone else worry about it, you know? I wouldn't do that. But there are people that I would do it, especially tires. I mean, tires are a biggie. Which I don't get, because if someone goes to get a tire put on their car, they take the tire back for you. I don't get it.
Collect the $2.50 tire and dispose them illegally. They get to keep all the money.
Well, I don't know. Anyway, I don't know.
Well, thank you for both of your feedback and all this.
Thank you so much. Anybody else? Adam, come on up, Adam. Anybody else? Adam, come on up, Adam.
Hi, everyone. First, I want to applaud the board for doing this. I actually think it's a really big deal. I don't take it for granted. I'm not familiar with a format like this from other towns, and granted, it's not been the easiest thing to look up, but I did actually try to find it. If somebody else knows if this exists somewhere else, please let me know, but otherwise, I really want to applaud you guys for actually doing this. I think it's an incredible step, and it feels very welcoming.
Thank you.
I have a bunch of questions, but I'll start with just this one, and then I'll vacate. I heard a little bit ago the town saying that they don't have a lot of power to quote-unquote enforce cease and desists. A lot has been said about that. I've heard the town board say this a few times before. Obviously, I'm, from my personal experience, the opinion that that's not true at all, that the town can do a lot of things. So I just want to ask a series of questions. Do you know how many complaints, more or less, have been submitted to the building department since you took office?
I couldn't tell you off the top of my head. But
do you want to hazard a guess?
From when to when?
From when you set foot in town hall.
From my person in office to now, I'd have to get back to you on that.
I can give it to you.
That's a part of one of your FOIL requests. I'm sure you have it in there somewhere.
I have it right here, actually.
You probably have it, right?
1,864.
So there you go. You have the answer. So you're asking me a question that you have an answer to.
Do you know how many of those complaints matured into cease and desists?
No.
About 515. Do you know how many of those have matured into lawsuits to enforce the cease and desists?
Probably a couple.
A couple? Is it all about the same property? A couple?
What?
Is it all lawsuits for the same property owner?
Is it all? I don't know. I don't tell us.
As far as I can tell from the record.
I mean, look, everybody.
Hold on.
I don't want to be confrontational with Adam because Adam is one of the ones we have a lawsuit with. Just to be, we're going to be open.
It's not a secret. Right? You guys put my name and address on it.
So Adam has a lot of these answers he's asking questions to make, I don't know what he's trying to do here. But if you have the answers, because you FOIL request, I don't know how many times, I couldn't even give you that number because I've lost track so many.
I could.
I know you can, and I'm sure the clerk can, because you're driving her crazy. But that's her job, and she's going to do it.
Sorry, just have I misunderstood the purpose of the Freedom of Information laws? Because as I understand it, those are records that belong to the public. And I think me and everybody else in this room...
Of course they belong to the public, as long as you FOIL for them.
Great. So my point being, I haven't done anything wrong by FOILing for them,
No, you have not. Absolutely not. And I told you that multiple times. Even when I sat in your house, didn't I?
No, of course, and I appreciate that. To finish the point I was trying to build up to, and the reason I'm asking this, by the way, is one, you may know this, but I think a lot of us in the public don't. It's difficult to get information. I know that from up there it feels like the town is very accessible, and I'm inclined to believe that you feel that way. From down here, it doesn't feel that way for everybody. I'm sure some people, your mileage, may vary, but for a lot of us it doesn't. And the point I wanted to make about
Can you explain a lot of people?
Yeah.
How many is a lot of people?
You're asking for the numbers of people that feel that
How
way?
many people feel that way?
I would say at a minimum I've spoken to probably about maybe 80, 90 people.
And how many of those people have FOIL requests?
80, 90 people. For those people that have filed FOIL requests? I'd say probably about a third.
A third?
Yeah.
So you're saying, you said how many feel this way?
So, hold on. Because I'm happy to have this discussion.
Yeah, how many people feel this way?
Wait, Supervisor, let me finish my question first. Then I'm happy to do this for as long as you would like. 1,864 complaints, 515 cease and desists.
I'm not talking about complaints, I'm talking about FOIL requests here.
I'm aware, but
You said people don't want to get FOIL, they're not getting information from FOIL requests in a certain amount of time. I want to know how many people, besides yourself, have not gotten information in a significant, in a decent time. How many? It's a question and answer. He asked the question, he actually asked me something, and I'm asking him. He said, he made a statement, so I'm giving it back to him, right? I just want to know, how many people? I just want to know.
I will answer that question in a moment. I want to come back to what I was trying to say, if that's all right.
Yeah.
I want to come back to what I was I didn't mean for this to be so reactive. I figured since you...
Go ahead.
But I figured since you discussed it, I thought that it would help. I don't know if other people here knew this. The town board, it doesn't seem that you were aware of the numbers, so I'm assuming this isn't public information, and I'm just trying to make it more accessible.
That's what this is for, Adam.
So some of the issues, and this is not the first time I've heard it, the town has said there's nothing we can do about it, right? We're powerless. We have only so much power. We can issue cease and desist, but even that, there's nothing we can do. And as I've said, I can testify to the fact that there's a lot that you could do. And then as an example, I was showing that out of 1,864 complaints, those are just the formal complaints, 515 that have been escalated to notices of violation of cease and desists. Exactly one, as I'm aware of, has turned into a lawsuit from the town. Only one has been meritorious. The first, as I understand it, the decision was 3 days after the initial complaint, meaning complaint to decision to sue in 3 days. And I just want to point out, I just find it interesting. Do you have any idea what percentage that is out of the total? Do you have an idea?
How many of those? No, I don't know what the percentage is.
It's 0.05336%.
Adam,
that's it.
How many you said that were sent out? You said 500 and something were sent out. Again, you're asking questions like what I just want to ask. Let me clarify something, because you're acting like we don't know about all the violations. You're acting like the department heads take care of these things. Like the town board doesn't dictate to the department head exactly what they have to do on a day-to-day basis. So of course we're not going to know the exact number off the top of our head. That's why the records are kept where they're kept, right? If we need to know that information, we ask the department head for that information, like you have, right? This is all public records. But when you say that some of them have been sent out, cease and desist, and only one was brought to court, how many of those 500, I think you said something like that? How many of those, did those people comply? Did they fix it? Because, I mean, most of the time, a violation notice says either go to the planning board and get your violation out of violation, or it says you're going to get taken to the court of the town of Marlborough, right? For a hearing. But how many of those 500 people or so comply? I mean, because you're throwing numbers out there like you're trying to make us look like we're targeting.
Do you have the answer for that?
Do you have that answer?
Because that's a big part of the equation.
Big part of the equation.
I'm still wondering what the question, what is the question?
First of all, for what is the question, could we read back the questions? I think I asked them a couple of times. It was, I said, how many complaints?
How many of those 500 complaints got solved?
Hold on, Scott, I'm answering one question at a time.
Let me follow the question.
In terms of the record of compliance, I can tell you how many graduated to lawsuits, the exact number, because those require authorization from this board. Authorization from this board is supposed to be public. From my scanning during your tenure, 0 other lawsuits, meaning just one.
Correct, yeah.
That's it. That's the answer.
Okay, so there isn't a question that you don't already know the answer to, that we're not going anywhere else with this?
Well, first of all,
You're quizzing us?
you could consider that that's what it feels like.
Okay, that's fine. I thought you were building to a question that you were going to ask, but clearly not. You
I
have all
have a lot
the
of things.
answers.
I came here to ask 3 questions. I wanted to see if the board was aware. If the board was aware, I thought it was important for the public to know. I also thought maybe you would know enough to give me a different narrative. That's all.
Yeah, I don't think, if I can speak on behalf of the board, but certainly correct me if I'm saying anything crazy, I don't think there is a narrative. There's no narrative. The board's not pushing a narrative or pushing a story about your property or your situation here with the town. The board, unfortunately, is in an awful position. We've been in an awful position for several years now, and we've done a lot to try to work with you to resolve that situation, and unfortunately, clearly that's not working out, that's not happening.
I was coming here to make the point, and I'm sorry because it wasn't supposed to be about my case specifically. I was just saying that when I hear the town say that there's nothing that they can do, and you say that to people, I think that's a little, it's a little disingenuous.
Can we cease and desist?
Yeah, I mean, I think that...
No, we no authority to cease and desist. We could send a letter to say cease and desist, but it doesn't mean we could forcibly cease and desist.
You want to ask if anybody else here has received cease and desists, let's say this summer?
Yes, no, but the supervisor in his defense has not at any point tonight said that we can't send a cease and desist. What he said is that we send a cease and desist, and what we cannot do is send a police officer over to your house to shut down your business or throw you in jail.
So, a couple points. Number one, I was talking about the ability to enforce, I was talking about the ability to enforce the cease and desist.
Do you agree with that
Which is why I use those words carefully. Second,
do you agree with what the councilwoman just said? That we can't send a police officer to your house and shut you down?
Have you ever asked any police officers to come to my house and serve me with papers or threaten to put me in handcuffs?
We had them send, we had an officer go there to give you papers.
And say,
Why? So it was
that they would put me and my wife in handcuffs.
No, they can't put you in handcuffs.
I'm just telling you what they said,
They
Scott.
can't put you in handcuffs, and you know that.
I do know that. I was surprised.
We're not allowed to do that. You know that. Everybody
Scott, the
knows.
distinction between what you're allowed to do and what you did do is the point I'm drawing here.
Okay, that's what you're saying. We don't have no record of that.
If I answered your question satisfactorily, I'm pleased with the answers I got. I'll be back with a few more questions after I let other people ask. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Anybody else have any questions? Come on up. Come on, please.
Scott, did he answer the question of how many foils he foiled for yet? Because
someone's got to ask that question, I guess.
I thought that we did.
How many foil requests have you foiled for?
I thought that we did.
How many foil requests have you foiled for?
Oh, I have a log of it. I'm just asking you. Oh, I have a log of it. I'm just asking you. Okay. How about us being retaliated? Okay. How about our bullying?
All right, let's not have an argument here.
Absurd.
Is it absurd? With all of the that you sent for like.
Jen,
Let's move on.
Jen,
Let's move on.
on.
Let's move on.
Hello,
Supervisor. Thanks for doing this, by the way.
you're welcome.
So, Al Lanzetta. First thing I think we could do to help the farmers is try to support them financially. So Mr. Trapani has a CSA shares. So if you could join that, I think it's a couple $100. That'll help out.
Mr. Japani's doing it?
Yeah, Tim Trapani.
Farms have
Tim
CSA.
Trapani.
Yeah. Trapani Farms. Right on Lansdowne Road is their stand.
Does he have something
So
like we could post?
every
Anything we could post on our?
Yes, it's just their regular
Yeah.
business, so yeah, you can.
So more is needed this year because of the situation with the frost. The second thing is, I would like all to invite you up to Reservoir Road and see what we've been living through for the last 2 years. It's a hellhole. It's garbage all over the place, cars. Mr. Supervisor, you've been up there. So, I'm one of the complainers, and Scott is one of the complainers. It's really terrible. I mean, people drive up that road and come to the dead end. A lot of the dirtbags come to the dead end. But, yeah, it's really terrible the last couple of years.
So I did get some follow-up on that today a little. I mean, again, is it happening quick? I don't know. But supposedly, they're starting to clean up the one section. The person that was putting cars on the other property that we thought we had fixed originally from previous time is another individual we found out that was placing cars there. That person now lives in Florida. A lot of investigative work here.
Yeah, I understand that.
Trying to get them to now remove the cars. We all know about the issue.
I just would like the board to take a look up, have a nice drive up the Reservoir Road. The other thing that's disturbing is actually an illegal business being operated there, which really is.
That's the one we're trying to resolve right now.
Put a fence around it, make believe it's not there.
With all of our recourse that we have?
With
all of our recourse that we have?
Yeah, all our resources.
With all of our recourse that we have?
So I appreciate that.
No, he knows. I mean, we've been talking.
Yeah, I appreciate that. It's a process.
how many illegal businesses we do have in this town?
Excuse me?
Does it, it's for everybody. Does anybody realize how many illegal businesses are being operated in this town?
Yeah, I know.
And you know what a small town is about? We turn our head a lot of times because we don't want to deprive people from making a living. And a lot of the people that complain about other people should look no further than their own backyard. So let's all think about that. This is a small town, a lot of people operating as per the code, a lot of people operating.
Well, I remember the day when you went to the planning board, you got a site plan, you did it right.
That was back in the 90s, though.
Oh,
And complaint on me. Personal thing we had going on.
But
I went and did the proper thing. And you know who's done the proper thing after me? No one. You know who's done the proper thing after me?
So the whole thing is the law. Nobody is above the law.
I understand.
Yeah.
All I'm saying is there might be two businesses on your road. There might be two businesses on my road. They're all over the place. Once we start pressing on one, we got to go after everybody. And it's going to open up a really bad can of worms. And some of these people rely on what, they make a living at what they do. That's all I'm saying.
And the other thing about Reservoir Road, and with the gentleman was talking, because I see him walking every day, there is a lot of garbage, but there's a lot of beer cans, and they're 5 cents a can.
Why are you throwing them out the window, Al? Why are you throwing them out the window when you go up to them? You come
that they drink a large can of beer before they get home.
Yeah. Well, before they don't want no one to know that they were drinking.
To secure that is get a couple of people and walk 9W, walk Reservoir Road and clean it, and that's what we did in the past. So, but thank you very much. I appreciate your time.
Oh, thanks, Al. Yep.
Well, thank you very much. I appreciate your time.
Oh, thanks, Al. Yep. Come on, keep coming up. Come on. Laura, you want to say anything? Come on up. I know you're dying. I'll ask Eddie up. Come on up, Laura. I'll ask Eddie up.
Hi everyone, Laura Donovan. This is actually Eddie's question, but I'll ask it for him because we both have been wondering this. So we walk Paddington a lot down at the nature trail or the Falco Trail. We do love it down there, but not to keep harping on trash. I don't know why this is the theme of the night, but there is actually a lot of trash on the nature trail, and it's not so much like small garbage. It's more like large oil tanks that were like probably put back there at some point. I know the town.
Oil what?
Like the giant like metal oil containers.
Oh, like oil containers?
Yeah.
Like gas cans?
Yeah, and like other large things like that. I know that the town leases that land, I believe. So I'm not sure who's responsible, but we would need, that's beyond the scope of like some volunteers getting together to pick it up, because we would need help maybe with the new, so we would need some equipment to get rid of those things.
I mean, it's funny. The trail is built on a dump. Remember? What happens is, what happens is over time, right? You built on a dump, and you get rain and rain and rain, and what starts to pop up out of the ground is some of the stuff that was buried under the ground over the years. But I hear what you're saying. I guess we got a big trash problem in our town, right? I didn't really. I mean, I know we have issues with it, but I didn't know this bad. I know we have issues with it, but Charlie, that's another Riley one. Riley's going to get a lot. He told me he wanted more hours, so here you go. Okay, yeah, we'll definitely look into that.
Okay, awesome. Thank you.
That's an easy one. I hope.
Thank you.
A what? There's a washing machine. A washing machine. A what? You'll see a couple cars pop up, I'm assuming, one time or another, too. I mean, yeah,
There was a post online today, I think, about an abandoned car down near the nature trail. Is that on your radar, Chief? Down near the nature trail. Is that on your radar?
Actually, on the trail?
I don't know.
By the
It was
parking area or
near the trail, by the parking lot. I don't know. I just drove by.
Well,
there.
we had
Didn't see
Dave,
anything in
right?
the
Didn't we
parking lot,
have something?
but I saw that
But
today.
didn't we?
I think the tanks had Laura might maybe speak
I saw
about
that
that.
today.
That was years ago. They used to refer to that as Cedar Cliff, I believe. That's where a lot of trap rock employees used to live, and I think there's some old water tanks down there. There are some 55-gallon drums. I think there's like an old wheelbarrow or something with big wheels on it in the stream. It's all junk from way back. Other than that, you're saying there's a dishwasher down there or a clothes washer. That's probably something new. I would imagine.
That's got to be new.
I didn't see that.
I mean, we did have someone living down there in the winter, right? That was another thing. Someone had a tent set up down there. You know, times are tough, I get it. I don't know how someone lived down there in the winter, but geez. We do hear about these things, but as far as getting it clean, we got to do a better job with that. I mean, I'm hearing here, we need to do a better job with all this. So, if I have to give more hours to Riley, or if I have to get other people on it, and maybe we come together as a community and create a group of people that actually want to help and do this, I think that's even a better idea. Because the more people we have, the better and quicker we could get it done, right? One person doing it, it might not get it done that quick, especially when he's got other responsibilities. So, and volunteers are free, which I like even better. So, but I think that's definitely a sticking point tonight here. Anybody else? Anybody? And then not trash and all that. Anybody else?
Any other places?
Steve, Mr. Jennison, you got any questions? Steve, Mr. Jennison, Mr. Khan, no questions?
They're here to answer questions.
I asked some of my department, these are the chairman of the planning and the ZBA boards are here. So they do a fantastic job for us. Come on, Mr. Jepson, come on, someone over there, come on, say something. Mr. Jepson, come on, you always got questions, come on. You always got questions, come on.
Good evening. My name is Paul Ibsen. I've been a resident in Middleton most of my life. I wanted to bring up something for the 4th of July. Ken Burns, when he has his family over for the 4th of July, he reads the Declaration of Independence. So I was going to talk to you about this privately. I mean, I didn't think there was the time to bring it up, but you brought up my name, so here I am. So I'd like to, I'd be honored to read a Declaration of Independence somewhere over the 4th here. I was thinking if we could get some school kids involved.
Yeah.
That would probably, as you said, that would help take off. Otherwise, I could be sitting there reading it to 3 people at the park. I think there'd be more than that if it was over the 4th of July. But Tom Schroeder has said that there's probably not going to be any fireworks this year because it's too expensive because everybody wants fireworks these days.
Well, we're having fireworks.
On the 4th?
Not on the 4th, we're doing it the week after the 4th, right?
Yeah, he said they're very expensive to do on the 4th, which makes sense because everybody wants to do it. So, I could talk to you.
When do you want to? You could talk to me after, but you could try to come up with a date and a time and a place.
Yeah, I'll talk to you.
I think that would be great. That's a good idea.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you. You gotta tell Joan Delatour. Joan Delatour.
Possibly, if judges could sentence people to community service.
So, I'm going to answer that for you, quite simple. So in the past, and this happened probably 25 years ago or so, we used to do that. They used to sentence kids to community service, picking up garbage, weed whacking around headstones at the community cemeteries and whatnot. Of course, we had one kid said he got something in his eye. The town had to pay for his hospital visit. We had to contend with his parents. It just ballooned into, it's not worth it. Jerry, if you want to speak any more on that, but I can tell you that's why we stopped doing it.
Obviously, it's a judge's decision. Usually what happens with community service is they don't supervise. So paying someone to sit there and watch 2 kids clean up garbage doesn't normally work. And who's going to supervise? Does it fall on the police department? I don't know that it's our responsibility. Does it fall on the town? Another time, I'm not sure how that all works. So they have, as far as I understand, the courts have come way away from community service. We do have some relationship with the churches because they tend to watch them as they do what they're supposed to do. Then you run into the problems of that supervising person or agency that's supervising doesn't complete the letters that they need for court, doesn't get the signatures because it wasn't done right, and it creates a court problem for people. So they tend to do away or get away from that, except for some extreme cases that they need to do it for. For the most part, as far as I understand, the judges don't do that, even if it's recognized.
I mean, you know,
It's a good idea, though. You're right.
you know who does a good job is the Boy Scouts and the Cub Scouts. I mean, they just actually did a cleanup down at the Milton Pier. 2 weeks ago, Charlie, was it? They were down there? 2 weeks ago? Yeah. So, I mean, they're always looking for, volunteer time. Also, I could talk to Mike Rydell, because a lot of the seniors and juniors are looking for community hours that they need. So that's another way. It's just the supervision and, hopefully no one gets hurt. When you're on, down at the landing is a different thing. It's kind of isolated. When you put them on a roadside and there's cars going by, that's where it gets a little dangerous. So you gotta be careful. But I get the point tonight. Anybody else? I mean, I don't want to keep the board here all night, but I thought we'd have a live. I mean, I'm not a really a Facebook guy, I guess you want to say. I mean, I go on Facebook to put on my personal stuff about my family, and I talk to friends that I haven't seen. But I see, the board sends me stuff, because I have a lot of these groups blocked, because I just can't take hearing it. But they send me stuff, and that's kind of what prompted me to have this meeting too. Because everybody has all these questions on these sites, and they think they know all the answers, but they really don't. And so I wanted them to come here tonight and ask the questions and get the real answers. Because I'm going to tell you, I'm not going to go on a Facebook page and talk to an anonymous person. That's not going to happen. Because most of the times the anonymous person is talking to another anonymous person is the same person. That's how it works. So it's a fruitless endeavor. But I would definitely keep this open to other people. Other times we could have these meetings, and if you guys want to tell other people that we're going to have these meetings, maybe quarterly or something. This goes back to my IBM. That's where I work, my regular job. These are type of meetings we have quarterly. I do that with our department heads, our board, and I believe in more knowledge is better. The more you know, the more ideas you don't listen to. There's something you maybe didn't think about, right? No idea is a bad idea. That's my opinion, and no comment is a bad comment. We represent you as a community, but we don't always know everything that's going on in the community. So the community, I wish, would come more to our meetings and give us more input. And that's why I like to have these. So, I can write it down on a pad here, and hopefully we could address some of these issues that maybe we weren't aware of. So that's what these are about. So I appreciate that. And Adam, you got one more question? Adam, you got one more question?
Thank you again for holding this. Thank you again. So I wanted to ask some questions about what the board's responsibilities are. Again, I think for myself it's not clear. This won't surprise, I think, any of you, except for I think Manny is the only person I haven't had the pleasure of speaking with personally yet. But I've asked a lot of questions about kind of what the responsibility of the board is, what it's supposed to do. In particular, I'm sure you're all familiar with the handbook for the town. In particular, I'm sure everybody's read it, I'm assuming. So section 415, if you're familiar with it, it's the fraud and dishonesty policy. So I just wanted to ask a series of questions. I'm going to read almost directly from these, but the questions really are directed. Of course, thank you. Thank you so much. So in the Marlborough Employee Handbook at section 415, it's a policy that applies to any fraud or suspected fraud. In New York State, it's very important that it's not just actual wrongdoing and impropriety, but the appearance of wrongdoing or impropriety that rises to the level where something has to be done. I'm sure you're aware that the town board is one of the primary bodies responsible for investigating suspected impropriety. And this has to do with not just any town employees, but also vendors, third parties, anything at all that has any touch with. And, yeah, so the town board, I'm going to read here, is responsible for the detection and prevention of fraud and other inappropriate conduct. And so the question that I have here is anybody in the town board, has it come to their attention, has anybody brought to their attention, have they become aware of any of these activities during your tenures? Any dishonest or fraudulent act? Any dishonest or forgery or alteration of any document or account belonging to the town? Forgery or alteration of any document? Forgery or alteration of a check, bank draft, or any other financial document? Alteration of a check, bank draft, or any other financial document? I'm assuming if nobody's saying anything that it's going to be a no. Is that fair for everybody? Nobody's saying anything that's going to be a no. Is that fair for everybody? Just because I could see everybody nodding, I didn't hear you. Just because misappropriation of funds, securities, supplies, or other assets. Misappropriation of funds, securities, supplies.
You're asking if people brought it to our attention, right?
If you are aware of it, if it's been brought to your attention, if people have tried to bring it to your attention, if you have any reason to
Well, let me
suspect.
just stop because I'm not going to keep going on with all this, but obviously, if any fraudulent activity came to this board, we would act. So I'm not going to answer 1,000 of, I'm not in court here, okay? You're acting like a lawyer here. I'm not in court. If we had fraudulent activity in front of us, we would take care of it. And now to go back to your first question, because you just breezed by it, what does the board do? What does the board do? You want to know what we do? We do the everyday activity of the town's business, okay? Me as the town supervisor, I'm the CFO of the town. I see over the financials with the help of the bookkeeper. Obviously, the bookkeeper is the accountant, right? We checks and balance of each other. She does the paperwork, I gotta check it, it goes back there, she checks it, the deputy supervisor rechecks it, and then we all sign off on it. The town board, we all have one vote. I don't have any more power than any of these people sitting next to me, right? I set the agenda, I'm able to talk to attorneys, that's a little different. I do our insurance, I do our budgets. All the things that a CFO of a regular company would do is my responsibility. And I have council people that counsel me to help me do that job on an everyday basis. Every board member is a liaison to a different department. So they have the water department, the highway department, they oversee them. So if there's an issue in those departments, those people come to those department heads, and then they would report back to me and say, hey, we got to do something about this. We take complaints from the public, and that's the biggest part. It's the 24/7, 7-day-a-week job. It's not a Monday to Friday job, even though the hours say 8 to 4. Our job is 24/7. We get calls weekends, nights, on vacation, and it's mostly complaints. And we try to deal with those complaints as they come in. Most of the board members can take care of those complaints on their own because they know who to contact. If they can't, they will contact me. We oversee the budget. We oversee our department heads. We oversee complaints. We oversee giving a sexual harassment case every year. We do a lot of things that many businesses do, but unfortunately, as a board, as a town, which I don't think a lot of people understand, it's not actually the same as a business, right? There's a lot of layers of regulations that are involved in town business. There's a lot of delay in town business. You got to speak to attorneys more frequently than you want to on town business. There's insurance. There's people trying to sue the town every other day, it seems like, whatever, or at least threaten to sue us. And we have to take those into consideration, and we have to protect the 8,800 citizens of this town. Not just one individual, but 8,800. And we all work for 8,800 people. Not one individual, but 8,800 people. And that includes you, Patty. If you have something to say, Patty, I got 3 mics. Come on up.
Well, I'm the one asking questions.
Come on up.
I'm the one asking questions.
Okay, you can come up, though. But anyway, you just asked what the town board does. And I can tell you this board works 24/7, 7 days a week to make sure that this town is protected from people that are trying to sue them. And that's what we do.
So thank you. So again, in that context, just to pick up. So thank you. has anybody on this board become aware of, has anybody brought to their attention suspected improprieties concerning an employee's moral, ethical, or behavioral
I
conduct?
just said we're not going to keep answering, we're not in court.
That's the last one.
I'm not going to keep answering that question, okay? Go
Sorry,
to
so
go to
you
a
want to
real
answer
question. Go to a real
Just this last
question.
one. This is a real question.
Keep going to a real question. I just said, if we knew about fraud or any indiscretions or any issues, we would look into it, Adam. And we have.
Oh, so when I was asking before and everybody said no, the answer was...
No, not fraud, indiscretion, you just said.
Not fraud, you just asked about,
Oh, so just this last one.
repeat what you just said.
Suspected improprieties concerning an employee's moral, ethical, or behavioral conduct.
There are always going to be issues in any organization where there are behavior questions. There's questions about behavior in any employment situation, and when they arise, yes, we address them.
Thank you. And so those would be brought to the attention of the board. The board would receive complaints of that nature, concerns.
If it rises to that, yeah.
Has anybody on this board, apart from Manny, received any request to submit complaints, concerns about improprieties from me?
Yes, you've been trying this for a year, and then you discussed it with me, the chairman of the ethics board, right here in this room.
January 10th?
Yes.
And what did you say you were going to do?
Appropriately, I would say.
No, why?
I can't sit down with you and watch videos and... No, why? We asked to go to the police department.
But Councilman, I didn't say sit down with me and watch videos or anything. I asked you to come and take... I know, and you're right that it's been a long time that I've been asking for an audience and I've not received one consistently.
Chairperson of the ethics board.
No, we were there. Well, hold on, Councilman. I don't want you... Let's not get this out of context. You and I went into that back room, right? And Maribeth was just outside the door. It's not like she joined...
She was there for the conversation. She told you to just calm down and stop.
No.
Okay.
That's not true. That's not true, Councilman.
Exactly.
No,
look,
that's...
Adam, we're not going to deal with half-truths and halves of what you say.
I agree.
And why come when we say something, you say it's not true?
If someone broke the law, go to the police department and file a complaint.
Exactly. I've told you this 17 times.
And you've been told this a million times.
I'm just trying to make clear, though, that it's not the board that receives these. That's fine. If the only option...
Adam, if you believe, I've told you this how many times? Have I not sat in your home and told you this? I said, if there is some kind of wrongdoing that you believe there is going on in this town, go to the police. If you don't trust our police, go to the state police. If you don't trust the state police, go to the sheriff's department. Have them come here and investigate the heck out of us. Okay? You have been after us. No, right now.
Mr. Carter,
I am speaking right now.
sir, you've been speaking for a very long time. Oh, why, sir? No, Mr. Carter, I'll stick to that.
Thank you.
I don't know what you're afraid of. I tell you.
Adam, we're not afraid of anything, Adam.
Then just
I just told you.
Enjoy the state police.
I think it's unfortunate to go to executive session. I don't understand. You can't just release records, answer questions.
It's people like you that just deter us from doing these meetings. That's the problem. So, people making a motion to go to executive session.
Mr. Corcoran, has it occurred to you that you're going to pull favor if people need to come up?
People in favor. People are afraid to come out. Sure.
Adam, it's... You know what you're...
I gotta get up at 2. I never been to the top of Reservoir Road. I've been living here for 40 years. I didn't go to high school there, so I wasn't up there.
Oh, yeah, good.
I guess all the high school, you go up there and drink beer.
Right? Yeah, I got to figure out
You've been up there? Is it nice? Or can you
Yeah, we did that at the Chapani Farms.
You see later.
On the Latin town on the flats. We put a dry hydrant there. We did it, I think the highway department helped us. It was like maybe $1,000 in a pipe. Maybe. Yeah. It was like fittings and stuff. Yeah. There's only some that'll work. It's got to be a certain depth, and it's got to be a certain depth, and it's got to be a certain depth, and it's got to be